everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of Snack Break, the perfect podcast pop on while preparing your ideal snack or beverage. I'm Bentigo Blue, and after a bit of an accidental hiatus, I am delighted to be back on the podcast. However, the clock's ticking, and we've got a lot to cram into today's episode. We've got pop culture news. We're going to be discussing the Minecraft 15th anniversary bonanza, so lots to talk about there. We've got the return of the unnamed review segment, and we've got the second edition of Bendigo's musical musing. So let's kick things off with the aforementioned pop culture news. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Recent weeks have seen not one, but two massive trailers released by Disney. The first, Mufasa, released, it says here, a few weeks ago. Now, quite a few weeks ago, speedily garnering millions of views as eager fans tuned in to get their first peek at the Lion King live-action prequel. That's quite a mouthful, which releases this December. The second, Moana 2, which was also released a few weeks ago. Not quite a few weeks ago, just a few weeks ago, with the trailer showing us just under 2 minutes of the upcoming, originally intended as a series, film, which releases this November. I have had a look at these. I saw them almost immediately after they were released. My thoughts on Mufasa are yet to be seen. I haven't actually watched the Lion King live action movie, and I haven't watched the live action, the normal Lion King movie, the original, since I was about 5. So, and that's nothing against the movie. It's just not something I've done. So, I really can't say much about that, but Moana 2 looks good, although my full opinions, are yet to be shown. I am suspicious regarding the fact that this was originally supposed to be a Disney Plus TV series, and the Disney executives, the mysterious Disney executives, just loved it so much that they decided, this deserves a cinematic release, aka this will boost our company. So, Moana 2, here we are in cinemas, coming this November. Does it deserve a sequel? Yes, but does it need a sequel? That is a very different question indeed. And whether or not the sequel is actually any good, we will find out in due course. Minecraft have unveiled a series of announcements in celebration of their 15th anniversary, including newly animated capes, an official partnership with MCC. They don't have to call it MCC, they can finally call it Minecraft Championship. I'm so proud of them. And perhaps, most excitingly, an animated series, the latter of which is currently in the works at Netflix and is set to release next year. The 1.21 update, titled the Tricky Trials Update, has also recently been released. Honestly, these announcements, they just kept hitting. Some of them, it's a 15-day period, they're not all going to be great. But even if they had only showed us that Minecraft clip with Jason Momoa and Steve, and Jack Black as Steve, it's happening! The capes, really exciting. I don't know if they've officially come to Java yet. If anybody knows about that, please do let me know, because I'd love to get my hands on the Twitch one. The partnership with MCC is really exciting. That's definitely a Minecraft Championship event I will be looking out for. And the animated show. I think this is something that Pixel Riffs mentioned on his podcast, the Spawn Trunks podcast, alongside Joel Duggan, with whom he co-hosts the show. They did mention that it does seem a bit weird that, and it's certainly something I picked up on when I saw this announced, it does seem a bit strange that we've been hearing work regarding a Minecraft movie for so long now, and it's only officially, it was supposed to release on the 10th anniversary, and here comes the 15th, and we're still about a year away from the Minecraft movie. So is it a bit strange? Presumably they'll be on alternate ends of the year, but is it a bit strange that we're also going to be getting a Netflix animated show? Yes, I think it is. I can't remember exactly what sort of studio division of Netflix are going to be covering it. From the work they've previously done, I had a look at it, and it's very good work. So we can remain hopeful in that sense. But whether 2025 does end up being the release date, I don't know. I'm going to try and stay optimistic on this one. I think they will nail the landing. But as to how it will be, once again, we'll find out in due course. And now with some more Minecraft-related news, Lifesteal announced 6 new members a few weeks ago, alongside an unexpected surprise 7th member. They are as follows: Flamefrax, Duraptu, Teeth XD, E-Corridor, Mainpair, Kabuto, and as a surprise 7th member, SB737. The 6th season of the whitelisted YouTube sensation was, well, it says here on my little script, on my notes, it says it's set to begin in the near future. However, some people had their eyes very well peeled indeed, and it turns out that if you read American dates, which I don't because I live in the UK, then the 7/6, 2024 reveals that it will begin on the 6th of June 2024, which has now been confirmed. I talked about my thoughts on these new members a bit more on my live stream. I think it was maybe the 1.21 Lonelycraft live stream. So if you want to hear my exact thoughts on that, there's somewhere. I'm sorry, I'm gonna make life difficult, but there's somewhere within. I think I was mining at the time. So it's towards the start of the live stream, but there's somewhere in my latest Lonelycraft live stream on the Bendigo Blue Gaming channel. But in short, I'm very pleased to see them all added. I think they're going to be great additions to the server. The trailer was released for Piece by Piece, a Pharrell Williams biopic with a twist. It's a Lego movie. The roughly 2-minute trailer showed the singer of Happy and a variety of other artists featured in Lego form. It's set to release this October. This is just... It is mad. And that's probably not the best way to describe something. You know, I'm not... It's... There's better podcasty ways to describe it, but it really is just mad. This is... The Lego movie, the next Lego movie, we've been waiting for so long. We've changed between studios and all that jazz, and it's a Pharrell Williams biopic. I was so shocked by this that I'm not sure I can even comprehend basic thoughts and opinions regarding it. But I don't know. It looks good. When you hear about a biopic, there's certain... Did you like my little dramatic sigh in there? Probably wasn't necessary. But when you hear about different biopics of Freddie Mercury, Elton John, they are obvious contenders for a biopic. Pharrell Williams, perhaps he's got a really engaging story I'm just not aware of, and we already saw a bit of that in the trailer. But whether we need this biopic already, I just don't know, and I'm a bit worried it will just become a Lego movie stomping ground for some of the biggest artists, and it's like, oh look, here's Jay-Z, here's all these famous people, when really we want the Lego Batman movie too. But we'll see how that is. I'm not going to place any bets right now, though I'm not a betting man, so don't know why I'd be placing bets. But finally, the trailer for the highly anticipated Paddington in Peru was released. Yes! Finally! The movie, which is technically the third in the series, is the first not to be directed by Paul King. Dougal Wilson will fill the directorial seat instead, and will release this November. I'm really excited for this. I like most other film fans, love Paddington 2. It's definitely up there on my top 10 films of all time. I do believe that it does deserve the crown it briefly had of the greatest film of all time on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb, or I think it was Rotten Tomatoes, and I can't wait to see how this one compares. Obviously, Paul King was busy directing Wonka, so couldn't take the helm for this one. So how it's going to be, I'm not sure, but from what I've seen, this looks to be very, very promising. And that's you up to date with this week's edition of Pop Culture News. It is now time for the return of Bendigo's musical musings. For those unaware, this is very simply the part of the show in which I discuss anything related to and from the wonderful world of music. And after kicking things off with mega sensation Taylor Swift, not on as a guest, just talking about her, who has now made her way to the UK as part of the Ears tour, much to many, many people's excitement, we turn to Ray. For those unaware of Ray, Have you been living under a rock? The 26-year-old singer/songwriter has taken the world by storm over the previous months following her release of her hit album, My 21st Century Blues. This success has led her to perform at the Oscars, that's incorrect, sorry, the Brits, work alongside Hans Zimmer on Planet Earth 3, and win the most Brit awards in one night ever, all as an independent artist. And now, following an absolutely stellar start to the year in silverware and performances, she has now returned to the space with a new single, Genesis. Seems like the obvious thing to do, right? Wrong. This song is 7 minutes long. Yep. You heard me correctly. 7 whole minutes long. And I am telling you now, we're just to clarify, for segments like the review segment, the unnamed review segment, I usually go for something a little bit more scripted, but for this, I've literally just listened to the song. We're chilling. We're chilling. We're with no G, just an apostrophe instead. I'm letting just the words flow and mingle. But I've just listened to the 7-minute song there, and I am telling you now, it certainly does not give you a break. It is jam-packed with content throughout all of the 7 minutes. And really, if you're going to make a song 7 minutes, it has to be jam-packed with content. It needs to, at risk of sounding like literally every music reviewer ever, it needs to take you on a journey. And this one, certainly it does. It really deals with some dark topics which currently aren't really the type of thing for this podcast. So if you want to find out more about that, then you can, I'm sure Ray's mentioned it in some of her interviews surrounding the release of this song, or you can literally go, if you've got 7 minutes to spare, go listen to the song. And you will need 7 minutes to spare, not just because of its length, but because you need to listen to it in its entirety. Because, as I said before, it takes you on a journey. It really takes you on a journey. The first 5 minutes are, as I mentioned, really quite dark. It's intense, it's slow, it's sort of stompy, murky, low-pitched. So just you could feel that it is a pretty intense song as things go, and that suits the fact that it's dealing with such heavy topics. Now, in the last 2 minutes, interestingly, it really flips that concept around. Just when you're really not expecting it in a way, given that you've already had 5 minutes of this previous concept, they're continuing with it, but doing it in a very different manner, with a sort of show-tuney, upbeat, trumpets, bells and whistles blast of music that continues with similar themes, yet does so almost with an air of positivity and deals with, and I suppose you could interpret it as looking at how people deal with problems. You can look at things in a very negative way, just purely focusing on that, or you can try and find a way of making it better, or just attempt to put a positive spin on it. If any of it sounds like your cup of tea, or you've heard Ray on the radio, you've heard Glass of Wine, then I definitely recommend go checking that song out. As I mentioned, Glass of Wine, it's not Glass of Wine. It is definitely more hard-hitting than that song, and it's really not that song, or any of her other songs, though admittedly I haven't listened to all of them, but it's new, it's fresh, and it's definitely an interesting listen. So if that's your type of thing, go check that out. That is Ray, Genesis. Editing Bendigo here. I've just done some Googling, and turns out that the Ray song that I have repetitively referred to as Glass of Wine is in fact not called Glass of Wine, it's called Worth It. But hey, point still stands. Just go check out any Ray song. They're very good. And last but not least, in this week's snack break, the unnamed review segment makes its grand return with a review of The Fall Guy, David Leitch's Bullet Train, Hobbs & Shaw, Deadpool 2, Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt starring extravaganza following a retired stuntman called back to action for the first time in a year. But this time, not just for stunts. This is real danger. I'm putting on my sunglasses, because this is cool. It's real danger. The film was loosely based on a 1980s TV series of the same name, and while some character names remain the same and the concept is roughly linked, the differences, although I admittedly haven't watched the 5 seasons of the TV show, do appear to be drastic. Unsurprisingly, the action in this movie is second to none, with car chases, dodgy club beat-ups, and tied to a chair explosions with guns and glass windows and audio recorders and all that good stuff. While that may not be an overly startling review of a film made by a man often christened as the action king of Hollywood, I'm personally not one for too much action. So a thumbs up from me, even if nobody knows who I am, is pretty hard to acquire. All of this, of course, is rendered pointless without a good story to match. And, thankfully, The Fall Guy really does deliver. The plot unravels at near perfect pace, and although its 2-hour runtime does feel a little too long for my liking, I couldn't help but feel that 50 minutes or so shaved would have delivered a tighter package. The ever-gripping mystery of the disappearance of a fellow actor keeps you invested. Personally, though, the film's biggest draw were its co-stars, Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. The two's will they, won't they potential and former love interests of the movie deliver phenomenal performances, with their relationship feeling both real, yet never too hard to watch. As if this wasn't enough, the movie is a film nerd's delight. The opening sequence boasts moving shots, fancy graphics, and a whole lot of nice light work. And, even better, the subject matter means that filmy, wilmy stuff is on screen a lot of the time, leading to what briefly becomes a hilarious satire of the modern sci-fi Hollywood space. Overall, The Fall Guy is an action-packed, fun-filled film boasting expert execution and an ensemble cast that only elevates it further. Best of all, the story stays strong throughout, and for what is essentially an original story, is a must-see of this summer's cinematic lineup. Also, quick shout-out, Kiss's I was made for loving you, baby, is used just, chef's kiss beautifully throughout. So, if you're a fan of that song, and just, scattering it like a fine salt or wine or whatever throughout, then this is definitely a movie for you. That is it for this week's episode of Snack Break, the perfect podcast pop on while preparing your cup of tea or ideal snack or beverage. We'll hopefully be returning with more episodes very soon. I am going on holiday in the coming weeks, so the pre-recording madness means I can't tell you exactly what we're cooking up, but just know there's something. Now though, this has been a Hung Capra production. The Snack Break channel is part of the Team Blaze collection of channels. I've been Bentico Blue, thanks very much for listening. See you soon, stay safe, bye!